Am I the asshole for not cooking a separate portion of food for my friend? Had to make an account to get a second opinion on this SMH. Anyways, I-20F had a few friends over for dinner a few nights ago. I enjoy cooking and offered to make a proper meal for everyone. Beforehand, I asked if anyone had any cooking allergies/dietary restrictions, or if they had any preferences or requests on what I should cook. Nobody mentioned anything, so I cooked how I normally cook for myself. My friend Luna, 22F, arrived half an hour early to help me with finishing touches and plating up. As I was getting ready to plate up, she said she doesn't like her food heavily seasoned, which is understandable, but I told her she should have mentioned it when I asked if she had any preferences the day before. Anyways, she asked if I could prepare a portion just for her with minimal seasoning. At that point I'd finished cooking everything and didn't have the energy to cook extra portions. So I said no and said she was more than welcome to have most of the sides, rice, garlic bread, and salad, or I'd be happy to order something for her. She seemed annoyed but didn't say anything. When everyone arrived and it was time to have our meal, she barely ate and left early. The next day she messaged me saying I was inconsiderate and rude to not accommodate for her taste preferences, and she felt excluded. I completely understand where she's coming from, and maybe I should have done more as the host, but I feel like I did all I could to accommodate everyone. I don't host often, so I'm not sure if my etiquette was wrong. My other friends are on my side, so I think I basically have my answer, but I'd like an outsider's view anyways. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I'm sorry you felt excluded. I felt unappreciated and taken for granted when you asked me to make an entire extra meal after I had already spent all that time and energy cooking. You actually did accommodate everyone. She didn't speak up until after all the cooking had been completed. That's on her, not on you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You absolutely did offer to accommodate her preferences, when you asked for them. Then again when you offered to order her something. She turned down your offers, then got mad and blamed at you for her own choice. Would I be the asshole if I go to HR about a co-worker who repeatedly calls me mom, even after I've asked that they stop? I have 5 children, and one has passed away. I always wanted to be a mom. It was my dream. I love my children, but we're not all as close as some. My children are now in their late 30s, all adults, except one who passed away as an adult. In my work, there are about 15 of us who work closely together. Not all at the same time, but probably 7 or so at a time, flexible shifts. One of the co-workers has had numerous HR complaints about their behavior, including singling out males for special attention, unwanted touching/hugging, and a few other things. I do believe this person is on the spectrum and/or has other mental issues. I have nothing against anyone on the spectrum, and indeed, 3 of my children are high-functioning, but on the spectrum. Originally they used a nickname for me, and I hate being called by nicknames. I told them that I didn't want to be called by a nickname, and they argued. After I pointed out that they get to pick their pronouns and I must honor it, they need to honor my choice of using my actual name, they eventually came around. However, the one thing they keep doing is calling me mom. I'm not their mother, and I don't want anyone to think I am, or to think I've given them permission to do that. I talked to a co-worker who was around one day, and she said it actually made her feel uncomfortable and was thinking of reporting both of us to HR, thinking I encouraged or allowed this. However, I know we're very exceedingly short-handed, and this person has had enough complaints that one more might put them over the allowance, and they might get fired. I have kind of decided that if they call me mom one more time, I'll remind them not to. After that, I will report them to HR. Would I be the asshole if I did this? Not the asshole. They shouldn't call you mom. It's really unprofessional. You should go to HR if they continue. Not the asshole, and don't even give them one more warning. Report them immediately. Not the asshole at all. Report it. Ask a Manager had a great post about it. Am I the asshole for asking my best friend why she's excluding me? I, 29F, have been best friends with Jenna, 29F, since college. We've been inseparable for 11 years. We talk every day, spend every weekend together, go on trips, the whole deal. She's basically my soulmate, platonic obviously, lol. About 6 months ago, Jenna started dating this guy Mark, 32M. I was happy for her at first. I really was. But then she started canceling our plans to hang out with him. I totally understood new relationship energy and all that. I never complained once. But it's been getting worse. She's canceled on me 6 times in the last 2 months. Always last minute. Always for Mark. I finally told her, very calmly, that I felt like she was prioritizing him over our friendship, and it hurt my feelings. She apologized and said she'd make more effort. Things were better for like 2 weeks. Then last month, I saw on Instagram that Jenna went to this wine tasting event downtown the same weekend. She told me she was too busy to come to my place for our pre-planned dinner and needed to cancel. I didn't want to be accusatory, so I just texted her, "Hey, so you were at that wine thing. Hope it was fun. Would have loved to come if I'd known about it." Smiling face with smiling eyes. She left me on read for 3 days. Then she finally responded with just, "It was a last-minute thing with Mark's co-workers." Okay, fine. I dropped it. I didn't want to seem clingy. But then 2 weeks ago, I found out through another friend that Jenna is having a birthday party next month. And I haven't been invited. I texted Jenna asking about it, still very calm and not accusatory. And she called me and said it's going to be a small thing, just Mark's friends and a few people from work. I was so confused. I've been to every single one of her birthday parties for 11 years. I asked her directly, "Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Because I feel like you've been icing me out, and I don't understand why." She got really quiet and then said, "I think we need some space. You're being really intense lately, and it's making me uncomfortable." I was floored. Intense? For asking why my best friend of over a decade is suddenly treating me like a stranger? I told her I thought that was really unfair, and that I deserved an actual explanation. She said she didn't want to have this conversation, and that she needed time to think. That was 12 days ago, and she still hasn't reached out. I'm heartbroken. I've literally done nothing wrong. I've been patient, I've been understanding, I've tried to communicate my feelings like an adult. And she's acting like I'm the problem? My mom says I should just give Jenna space, but I feel like if I do that, our friendship is just over. I sent her one more text yesterday saying, "I love you and I'm here when you're ready to talk. I just want to understand what happened." She blocked me. I'm completely devastated. Am I the asshole for trying to save our friendship? You are more clingy than I like in my friends. Just let her live her new life and find more friends. Info: you say she canceled on you 6 times in 2 months. Can I ask how many times did she do things with you during that period? As such, how many plans did she not cancel on? You are the asshole. You are extremely clingy, also kind of passive-aggressive. You don't text someone asking why they weren't invited. You aren't invited to everything. Am I the asshole for not warning my diabetic friend about our trip? My friend's sister and I went out to major city near us for my birthday, where yes, there are buses and the subway, but usually it's still better to walk if it's not across the city. I invited this friend to a free trip to a museum and explicitly told her we would be leaving our town at 9:30, arriving in city at 11, leaving at 5:30 and getting home for about 7. At the beginning of the day, I make sure to tell her I have extra snacks in case she needs to fix her blood sugars, with both fast and long-acting carbs. She also has some trouble with a leg injury, but my sister has a pretty bad one that flares up, and I have a minor one, so I figured she would be comfortable telling us if she needed to stop. We finished the museum with about 2 hours to spare, not helped by the fact we skipped a floor because I wasn't super interested in the stuff, and she definitely wasn't. So my sister and I say we should walk around the city since there's some cool stuff nearby. She doesn't protest, and had been sitting down for a bit previously because she was bored of the exhibit we were in. So we end up walking and taking the subway around every time we are near a mall, and even as we are walking around we are checking in with her if she needs food, and buy her a smoothie and bagel. Though that isn't because she says she needs food, it's because my sister wanted to stop at both places. She's had a headphone in all day, so we haven't known anything about when / if she was having blood sugar problems. Basically, she's pissed at me because I didn't warn her we would be walking around so much and hadn't adequately warned her so she could prepare about the change of plans. I argued back that we literally made the plans of walking around for a bit right in front of her, and that she could have said something, as well as the fact that even if we hadn't gone around the city, we literally said, we are going to be walking around a museum for basically 5 hours, not including travel time. This combined with the fact that she never said anything about having a problem or having low blood sugar, despite us being aware of it, and actively checking in to make sure she was doing okay and had what she needed. To that she said that whenever we offered stuff she didn't have one, and that it was when we were away from food places that she had a low blood sugar. A hello big city, we can walk at most a block and find food. Anyways, am I the asshole for not properly warning my friend about this trip and making the possibility of leaving her defenseless. Edit. For reference, I would also like to add that the both of us are both barely young adults, as well as the fact that neither of us have a driver's license, as it isn't really needed where we live. Hence my much elder sister coming, as well as the fact her mother is still very overprotective. She is a type 1 diabetic, and has been so for about 6 years. Not the asshole. First of all, it sounds like you did warn her. Second of all, as a diabetic, I pack snacks appropriate for the potential use cases. I'd never rely on the information of others and plan ahead for myself. Not the asshole. I'm floored that you brought snacks in case your adult friend needed them. You went above and beyond. Is your friend an adult? Not physically or mentally disabled. Not the asshole.